Many people try to fight the enemy under their own power. This is particularly dangerous for people who are not skilled, nor developed, nor consecrated to the point that you have the level of anointing to fight the enemy. It's very difficult to fight an enemy you just got through sleeping with. It's very difficult. I'm gonna wake you up. Don't worry, you won't sleep on me. It's very difficult to hang out with the enemy for 2 weeks and then rebuke him on the third week. It's difficult to do that because he knows all your weak points. He knows where you're vulnerable. And the worst person in the world to fight is one who knows your weakness. And so you don't want to do hand-to-hand combat with devils that you've been rubbing on, that you've been leaning on, that you've been laying with, because they know exactly what to offer you to shut you up. Now, I know when you start dealing with church people, they act like they can't be shut up. But there are some things that you've been through. If your life was to flash on the screen right now, there are some scenes that if they flash on the screen, you would put up your finger and I know you got to sit there and act like you lived every day on the top of the mountain, but there are some things that you went through. There are some things you thought that if they hit the loudspeaker, you would bury your face in your pocketbook. Man, isn't it amazing now how God knows all of your mess, and yet in his goodness and his mercy, he has a way of leading you through it. The priestly nation of Israel is in a dilemma because Satan is standing on his right hand to resist him. If I'm going to fight somebody, I want to fight somebody who doesn't know where to hit me. But the problem with the enemy is he knows where to hit you. If you ever notice something about the enemy, he very seldom offers you things that you don't like. If you don't drink, he doesn't offer you liquor. If you don't smoke, he doesn't offer you a cigarette. If you don't get high, he doesn't offer you a joint. You understand what I'm trying to say. If you're not prone to gamble, he doesn't take you to Vegas, but he knows exactly where to take you to make you squirm and make you wiggle, because he knows how to fight you. And so there is a feeling of being vulnerable and insecure when you get into a fight with a devil that knows all about you, and you start getting punched in the mouth and hit in the head and get frustrated and say, God, how can I win? I'm wondering if there's anybody in here today who's ever gotten exasperated and frustrated and tried to walk with God, and because you was up under so much attack, you threw up your hands and said, God, how can I win? It seems like to me, whenever I take 2 steps forward, I get knocked 3 steps back. Lord, how can I win? How do you expect me to come out? Because every time I get somebody I can trust, something happens to them. And every time I think I found somebody, they betray me. And every time I think I'm starting to pull it together, something knocks me back in the hole again. How can I win? Well, my brothers and my sisters, I believe I'll preach since I'm here. My brothers and my sisters, maybe you picked the right Sunday morning to come to church because God gave me the answer to your question. I want to tell you how you can win, and win every time. If you want to win, my brothers and sisters, and win every time, simply do not get in the ring. If you want to win and win every time, simply do not get in the ring. At the risk of sounding negative, I need to tell you that if you get in the ring with the enemy, he's going to put your lights out. I want to tell you that if you get in the ring with the enemy, blow for blow, punch for punch, you're not ready for the level of warfare you're going to be hit with. He'll hit you in your finances, and then uppercut you through your marriage, and he'll come back and put you in a full Nelson in your emotions, and then he'll put a full Charlie on you in your mind, and you're tied up and you're tangled up and you're confused, and after a while you start going down. But if you just stay out of the ring and start throwing a few scriptures across the ropes and tell him something like, the battle is not mine, Battle is not mine. It belongs to God. And if you tell him, my God shall supply all of my needs according to his riches and glory. If you tell him, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. If you tell him, Satan, the blood is against you. And if you don't know any scriptures, tell him, devil, I hear you knocking, but you can't come here. But whatever you've got to do, whatever you got to do to fight, you've got to arm yourself with the understanding that you don't get in the ring with the enemy. I want to remind you that the book of Jude teaches us that Michael, who was carrying the body of Moses, when he was carrying the body of Moses back to glory, Satan came to steal the body of Moses out of the arms of Michael, the archangel. Now you must understand that Michael is not just an angel. He is in fact an archangel. He is the captain of the brigade. He is in charge of all of the other angels. And face to face with the devil, he didn't fight him himself, but he said, I dare not bring a railing accusation against you, but I choose rather to say, Satan, the Lord rebuke thee. The devil would rather you say anything than to say the Lord rebuke thee. He would rather you fight him with willpower and mind power and attitude and positive thinking and new age philosophy and meditation. But I dare you to get backed up in a corner and say, wait a minute, devil, the battle is not mine. It belongs to the Lord. And I'm going to submit my way unto the Lord. And I know that God is going to bring out. That's messages for you.
At some time or another, have agonized over making a decision. Some decisions are major decisions. And also there are a lot of small decisions that we don't make, that they tax our minds, they drain our energy. They create a lot of anxiety and nervousness because we don't take care of it. We decide not to decide, which is a decision. Deciding to decide, to act, is a major, major challenge for all of us at different points in different areas of our lives. And there are things that happen to us along the way, experiences that we have that prevent us from working through the mental block of acting, of doing those things that we know we ought to do. And so what I want you to think about is, what is there that you know you need to do, that you want to do this, but for some reason or another, you've been holding back. For some reason or another, you just have not been able to gather your nerves or be able to work through the procrastinating or putting it off or justifying or blaming. Some reason or another, you just haven't done it. And you know you ought to do this. You really want to do this, but you don't know why you haven't done it. We know that this is not easy, that you really have got to put all of yourself into it. It's very challenging to act, to do those things. There are times when you're looking at it and you say, I know I need to do this, but I don't feel like it. From acting is the fear of failure. And if you've already failed, you don't want to fail again. The pain of that, the disappointment, the fear of loss is another thing. Because many times when we do those things that we know we need to do, we feel that we might lose somebody. Many of us don't act because we want other people's approval. Many of us don't do the things that we want to do and don't act because of lack of self-confidence. We don't believe enough in ourselves. There are a lot of people that their jobs are making them sick because they won't act. You check out the absenteeism and people that are depressed. So there are many reasons why we don't act. There are other things, though, that affect us is that not wanting to take personal responsibility. We want somebody else to do it. Many times we pick up our inability to do certain things from people that we love, people that we admire. We identify with them, and we